Chapter 6, Existence. Existence can be defined as the perceptible form of an entity that possesses specific properties, occupies a defined space, exists over time, shaped by the organization of energy and matter. Philosophically, existence refers to having objective reality or being explored through ontology, a branch of metaphysics. Physically, it involves the tangible presence of entities governed by the laws of physics, studied in disciplines like physics and cosmology. Psychologically, existence is viewed through subjective experience and consciousness, with existential psychology focusing on individuals' sense of purpose, meaning, and authenticity within their existence. In this book, existence is largely about the physical entities comprising matter and energy, nothing abstract, such as emotions, or informational, such as language. Existence refers to the state of being, encompassing both the physical presence of entities, which have mass and occupy space, and the identity by which these entities are qualified or referred to. The abstract or informational features may come up as part of the identity, but that is not what we are discussing here. Existence pertains to the state of being, encompassing both the presence of physical entities and their identities. It highlights the remarkable continuity of being amidst the possibilities of change, such as extinction, disappearance, or evolution, transformation into a different form or identity. Existence is therefore considered the greatest state, representing the persistence of physical being within an ever-changing environment. Entities exist. Entities are those that are perceived owing to their presence or removal. Existence and the observer. Is existence subjective or objective? Does an entity exist if the observer fails to notice or be affected by the entity? Does an entity exist just because the observer believes that that entity exists? The nature of existence straddles a fine line between subjectivity and objectivity, raising intriguing questions about perception and belief. Consider Schrödinger's cat, a thought experiment where a cat in a box is simultaneously alive and dead until observed, challenging the notion of objective reality. Is there a cat in that box at all? Until the box is opened, we would not know for sure. If an ancient civilization like Machu Picchu lies buried and unnoticed for centuries, does it cease to exist in the interim, or does its existence remain objective, independent of human awareness? The concept of God further complicates this debate. God's existence is an unquestionable truth for billions, shaping lives and cultures despite the lack of empirical evidence. Similarly, consider Andromeda, an immense galaxy visible to astronomers through powerful telescopes and understood through complex theories, yet it might as well be a myth to a common person who never observes it directly or understands its significance. Conversely, think of conspiracy theories where belief alone, devoid of empirical evidence, grants existence to imagined entities and events. This interplay between perception and reality forces us to ponder: does existence rely on being observed and believed, or does it hold an immutable state regardless of our awareness? Reality is complex, involving perception, belief, and imagination, challenging us to discern what to believe. The wonders of belief lie in its ability to shape our experiences and perceptions of the world, often blurring the line between what is real and what is imagined. Our lives lie in lies. Our brains, remarkable yet susceptible to manipulation, can be influenced by psychological factors, creating realities that feel tangible despite lacking objective existence. The power of imagination further complicates this, as it enables us to envision possibilities beyond our current understanding, driving innovation and creativity, but also feeding illusions and misconceptions. Navigating reality requires a delicate balance between skepticism and open-mindedness, recognizing the profound impact of our mental constructs on our interpretation of the world. One notable incident of a historical monument gradually being buried due to neglect and later dramatically rediscovered is the case of the ancient city of Petra in Jordan. Petra, once a thriving capital of the Nabatean kingdom, was established around the 4th century BC. It was an important trading hub known for its stunning rock-cut architecture and advanced water conduit system. However, after a series of events, including changes in trade routes and devastating earthquakes, Petra's significance diminished. By the early Islamic era, the city had largely been abandoned, and its location was forgotten by the outside world. Over centuries, sand and debris accumulated, gradually burying the monumental facades and structures. The local Bedouin people were aware of Petra's existence, but kept it secret from outsiders, contributing to its obscurity. Petra remained hidden from the Western world until 1812, when Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, disguised as an Arab scholar, tricked his Bedouin guides into showing him the site. Burckhardt was overwhelmed by the sight of the Rose City, with its massive rock-cut structures like the Treasury, Al-Khazna, and the monastery, Ad-Dir, emerging from the surrounding cliffs. Burckhardt's accounts, published in his travel writings, sparked interest and fascination in Europe. His dramatic rediscovery of Petra brought the ancient city back into public awareness, leading to subsequent archaeological exploration and preservation efforts. Today, Petra is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most visited archaeological sites in the world, celebrated for its historical and architectural significance. The story of its gradual burial and dramatic rediscovery serves as a compelling reminder of how easily human achievements can be forgotten and how exciting it can be to bring them back to light. Petra existed before for all those who were touched by it. Petra was non-existent to everyone else across the world who were busy with their own lives, struggles, and pleasures. Later, Petra is buried, existing only for a few people while meaning nothing to others. But today, like many ancient monuments, Petra is known to most people in the world. Petra exists again, grander than ever. Objectively, the existence of anything is true despite the perception by one or all people. For a group of observers, the existence of something beyond their perception is unknown until at least one person discovers it. What exactly are we referring to when we say thing? It can be anything: an ocean, a hill, a tree, a baby, a language, a song, an emotion, a religion, a country, or the sky. All of these examples demonstrate things that exist. We can debate what qualifies as a thing or not from the list above, but that would be a discussion of semantics. How is the sky a thing? When I was a child, I believed the sky was a dome made of ice that occasionally melted, and that is what poured down as rain. The sky appeared blue during the day and was filled with stars at night. Now, I understand that the sky is simply an empty space beyond the atmosphere that appears blue due to the refraction of light. There will always be something beyond our perception, whether it is because it falls outside the range of what we can observe or due to our inability to observe it. Did you know that a planet named H. Turt harbors a heart-shaped rock in a distant galaxy, about 2.8 light-years from Earth? Two young scientists from the University of Turt stumbled upon this lovely discovery recently. They named the planet after their university. The rock is almost perfectly heart-shaped, with fine edges and smooth surfaces, and its formation remains an enigma. It would be awe-inspiring to witness up close. As someone who knows and has experienced immense love, would not this heart-shaped rock evoke a profound connection with a distant and seemingly unreachable object? Knowing that this rock has existed for billions of years and will continue to exist long after we are gone is a true sign of hope that love will last forever. Happy Valentine's Day. How did you feel about this new information about the precious rocky love on Turt planet? I must admit that I fabricated the existence of H. Turt and its heart-shaped rock. My sincere apologies. There is no known planet by that name, nor do we have evidence of such a rock. Yet, the thought experiment underscores how our minds constantly grapple with perceptions of truth and fiction, the comprehensible and the incomprehensible. While Turt might not be real, the exploration of our imagination and the emotions it stirs are very much part of our reality. The more emotions stirred or invested, the more connection and belief there are. Some perceptions may be unique to us, while others are shared by many. Different people perceive a song or a smell in different ways. Some may find a song melodious, while others find it ridiculous. Some may find certain smells pleasant, while others find them repulsive, while some may not smell anything at all. For the sake of simplicity, let us assume that any perception someone has that they believe to be true and not fabricated through manipulation, deception, or mental abnormalities like hallucinations can be considered a thing or an entity. The information hallucinated is not true, but the event of hallucination or dream is real. Abstract things like emotions, beauty, and feelings are purely subjective and will only be briefly discussed here. There are also things, such as language, culture, and religion, that are fluid and created by living beings. The rest of the things in the world are physical and made of matter and energy. We can likely agree on our intuitive perception of a material thing, like a rock. At a fundamental level, we all perceive a given rock as a rock. We all perceive a given book as a book. Additional values or attributes may be added to these objects, but they remain what they are at their core. For example, I had a biochemistry textbook by Stryer that was one of my favorites while I was preparing for a competitive exam. I lived with 3 friends in a rented apartment during that time. One day, one of my friends moved the book with his leg, which upset me greatly. In my culture, books are divine. I was angry and shouted at him for disrespecting my book. To him, it was simply a book in his way, but to me, it was a book I held in high esteem and did not want anyone to touch with their feet. Everyone has their own favorites, and books play significant roles in our lives. Some books even shape our lives directly or indirectly. Are not we all influenced by one book or another, the holy books? However, fundamentally, it is just a book. In the same way, a rock remains a rock, regardless of whether someone sees a deity within it or not. A bacterium is a living organism, irrespective of whether it is beneficial or harmful. A scientist is human, regardless of their sincerity, competence, and integrity. A human is an animal, regardless of their rationality and skill. Every perceivable thing has a fundamental aspect that describes it, regardless of any additional qualities we attribute to it through our thinking. As William Shakespeare said, "Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so." All thinking adds subjective attributes to existing things. No matter what else we may see in a thing, its fundamental aspect defines it. Physical things exist as entities in their most fundamental form. There are physical entities and abstract entities. Physical entities serve as the basis for every abstract entity. Even abstract entities like language or emotions must ultimately be represented in a physical medium. Language can be written in books, events recorded on video, songs played, and even computer programs or software stored or transmitted as matter or energy. A song exists as sound energy, beauty as light energy, and emotion as neurochemical energy. Information, including software, has a physical basis in matter or energy. For example, the data we store on flash drives or USB drives is stored physically. If those drives become corrupted, retrieving the data becomes challenging. In this way, almost everything has a physical form, however minuscule or challenging to perceive. We can conclude that there is no entity that does not have a physical basis, matter or energy. If there is no physical basis, it is not an entity. Entities exist as forms of being that can be perceived through their presence or absence. For example, consider a tree in a park. Its presence can be observed through its leaves, trunk, and branches. The tree exists because it is perceptible in its environment. On the other hand, air is an example of an entity perceived through its absence. It is invisible, yet its presence is felt through the act of breathing. When the air is removed, such as in a vacuum, its absence becomes immediately noticeable, highlighting that entities can also be recognized by the change their absence brings.